My
a day
favorite
off.
day of the week used to be Saturdays because not never Sundays because Sunday के बाद Monday आता था. So that pressure used to haunt me before कि वो कल कल school जाना है. So let's start prepping the uniform and all that. Saturday was great. Saturday was amazing because कल Sunday. So that's why I think Saturday is that I have 2 kids now and I have a few scripts coming my way and now strangely it's the check boxes. Is the film good? Is your part good? And then is it worth it leaving these 2 cuties at home and then going out to work? Like give me some.
For all film related interviews, reviews and content, please like and subscribe to Puja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram.
Thank you so much for joining me, team. Thursday, Yami, I saw the trailer and I'm very scared. I hear your husband also has the same reaction. You're extremely scary. So, I mean, I should not be anywhere around Neha.
Yeah, don't be around Neha, but yeah, you and I can talk. And no, thank you. It's of course it's a backhanded compliment, and the whole idea of a thriller is to make sure your audience feels that thrill, whoever watches it, and there is a shock value to certain aspects which is just a trailer right now, and there's much more to unfold. There's much more to know about Neha, everybody, the story, and what happens actually on a Thursday.
And what's really impressed me is now Neha is actually getting into the cop avatar. Huh? You're getting used to being the lady in the uniform and whipping.
Sorry, I only heard.
I said no, getting used to playing the girl in the uniform, and nice to see she's a Peggy mommy.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the credit, as far as the cop is concerned, a lot of the credit definitely goes to Behzad because he's written the part. And, Puja, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. When I was actually hired to play the part and when I was confirmed to play the part, this was sometime around November 2020 is when we spoke, or December 2020, I'm not sure. So I remember speaking to Bez then, and then we shot a little bit, and to which he was just like, yeah, we just like, come on, Neha, we can get fitter and it's a part. And I came back for the photo shoot and I was just like, I was like, Bez, like, yeah, you are looking fitter and this is great. And, looking like cop-like and everything. Cut to, there was, a second wave that happened, and I came back to him like 5.5 months later saying, I actually have something to tell you. And he's like, yeah, tell me now, we're going to restart shoot. And I'm like, I'm pregnant and now what do we do? But Puja, jokes apart, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. And I went into that meeting with all kinds of fears and insecurities, thinking ki, now he's going to just say that, hey, listen, physically, I've hired you to look different because you're playing a part. And it's not like I've been hired as myself. So I was okay, whichever way the meeting went. But it's people like him. It's people like our producers, like Pashan and Ronnie and Ashley, who didn't even like bat an eyelid saying that, okay, hey, if you're pregnant, you're not going to be doing this. He said, wait a minute, Neha, there are cops who are women who are pregnant and they continue to continue with their duty. So why can't you? Only thing he said, would you like to wear a cape because it's raining, or would you like, he just got into the technicalities of it. So as much as, we say that as women, we want to change the business or the way people look at us, or we want to become, we want to have personal, professional dreams and personal aspirations as well, and goals and stuff. Either we continue to create work for ourselves, or we have people like Behzad and Ronnie and Pashan and Ashley who support us. I don't know of anybody who's been cast as 8 months pregnant for an 8-month pregnant cop. And
Absolutely.
it's a really long drawn answer, but I just hope somewhere we've kind of made a little bit of place through this movie or through this small part that I'm playing, where women don't have to take sabbaticals, where women don't have to go away for 5 years, where maternity leave of an actor should not be, brought back and said comebacks. We don't need that. We want to just go with the flow. And he's the one, and this team is the one that's created the space.
Absolutely. And talking about sabbaticals, the other one, Yami being the one who was back on set soon after she got married. And Yami, you were not kidding when you told me that you're going to see me in a never seen before avatar. So getting into the space of Naina, also it deals with, we've heard of kids being taken hostage. We've heard about terrible things happening in school. It is the harsh reality, and I think the fear of every parent, because schools are the safe zone for their kids. But here you're playing, this is the first time I'm seeing a female, terrorist, whatever category you want to put her in, but getting into the mind space of a person like that, what was that like?
See, factually speaking, Naina is a kindergarten school teacher herself, and who's taken her own those kids, toddlers, as hostages. And in real life, yes, of course, I mean, that's a concern, I'm sure, which any parent would have for the safety of their kids. But I hope they don't view the film just right now after watching the trailer. While I understand the concern, I'm sure, of any mother, of any parent, we are not trying to endorse anything. We are not trying to make a point anything. We're not trying to make it glorifying and all those words. It's a fictional story. The films में कई बार reality होती है, कई बार आपको लगता है कि what's happening in this film is something which happened to me, which is something happened, to my neighbor. And sometimes things are just,
these incidents have been in the news.
Yeah,
it's
and
not been
sometimes
handled
it's just
before.
Correct. And sometimes it's something totally, out of the blue that, something like this can also happen. So I think it's somewhere like a mix of both. And when you watch the film, you'll realize that this is much more beyond than what if anyone is feeling, uncomfortable, it's much more beyond than that. It is not what you've just seen in the trailer. That's just a trailer. So do give it a shot. People have already loved the trailer.
What was it like you to get into the mind space of a person I'm sure that you can't relate to at some level?
Easy. No, it wasn't easy. It's a character which took a toll on me, in the sense that when I landed on the set, it became really, it was very challenging for me, even physically. This was not a part where I had to physically transform my body or, work out in a certain way that, you can feel fatigued or something. It was not that. It was the emotional and the mental conditioning and the prep that I had to go through had come on my body. And I used to feel so heavy in my legs all the time. And I would not understand initially what has just happened. Is the shortest walk I've had in the long time from my vanity to the set. It's just 20 steps. And why is it so difficult? But I realized that no, maybe I've really soaked in the character. I've really soaked in Naina's, situation and shoes. And I'm being true in that moment. That's my job as an actor. And this was a role, although it should be with any role what you do, but especially with, we can't cheat emotions. We can't cheat it. You really, especially when you don't have any reference, you don't have anything to lean on, you have to imagine. You have to actually imagine and create that parallel character in your mind, and not judge her as Yami and not think of her as Yami. Keep Yami's fears, concerns, love, affection, softness, whatever makes me, or whatever Yami is about aside, you have to be Naina. So that, to hold on to her, was very challenging. It wasn't easy.
Yeah. Behzad, coming to you, what struck me is, of course, were the strong women in your film, Thursday. That's what struck me. There is Neha, there's Yami, there's Dimpleji. I mean, I was just struck by women carrying this narrative forward, because usually you do see it's some man who's taken people hostage. It's a male police officers running after him. And it's the men in the thing of power who are trying to salvage the situation. So tell me a bit about that, and how did this come about? Because we've heard, because I was in the US when something terrible had happened, when kids were taken hostage and all. I'm sure your film will pan out differently, but it's a fear. It's a fear in our society because no one is safe anywhere.
Yes, there is that feeling that everybody has, that safety is always compromised. I mean, our officials try to do best that they can, but things do go wrong. And this city, Mumbai, has experienced a lot of it, whether it is terrorism or whether it is from the inside. But for the women, I think, for me, I don't like to bifurcate as men and women. I think it's the actor, not an actress. It's the actor. And when we were writing it, I thought that the shock value that a woman would do something like this to her own students, who is looked up to as the care, the nurture, the purity of that relationship. If I destroy it, what will happen? I didn't have a thought at that time that I will get a prime minister or what. I thought it'll be an internal thing where it'll be a cops situation, things obviously will go wrong. And at the end of the day, it's a movie. It's got to have some entertainment value as well. So, but from there, it spiraled into a thought like, okay, why not ask for the most powerful person in the country? Then what will happen? So I think there also, we wanted to cast a female for the relatability factor of what I honestly can't understand what a woman would go through on a day-to-day basis. I have no understanding of that experience. But you hear things, you have close friends that talk about these things. So I thought engulfing all that into a film, I thought might just push the envelope a little. And hopefully 17 by 19th or 20th, people are talking about it.
Absolutely.
I hope that's the game. And even with Cop, we of course have Atul sir, who is playing the other cop. And in the trailer also, you can see that his character and Neha's character are loggerheads. So even there is friction. There is friction inside the play school with Yami and the students. And then it becomes countrywide friction because she's going to ask for the prime minister.
True.
So I think it just creates eyeballs and sends shockwaves.
Absolutely. And I want to ask both the ladies, what made you both say yes? And it's interesting how it panned out. Neha didn't know she would be expecting. And Yami isn't like, this is the first time she's played roles, but I've never seen her so scary ever. What was it when it came to you that made you both say, yes, we are doing this?
I mean, for me, it was as soon as I read the script, I felt that, you always as an actor read the script in totality when you read the script for the first time, and then you read your part in isolation. And then you just weigh, and if you think that, okay, that's the right thing to do, of course, I can speak with my using this as my medium of choice after, being a part of many good films and many more blunders. So you have to be very careful when you make that choice. And I feel like as a film in totality, it was spacey, it was gritty, it was thrilling, it was, all of the above. Because when the casting team calls you and they say that it's thriller hai, it should be a thriller. So that checkbox was in place. And then, there was my part, and I was just like, I'm not going to let go of this part, because if I let go of this part, someone else is going to do it. Now I'm not going to let anybody else get ahead of me. A, I love the part. B, these are the kind of parts I want to do also, Puja. I'm in a phase where I've been around long enough where, the kind of things that come my way are interesting but limited. So I have to make the most of what it is. So this was a definite yes. And I feel like if you have to like I'm going through that right now, I have and I don't even know why I'm answering this part of the question, because you didn't even ask it, but I just want to voice it. Is that, I have 2 kids now, and I have a few scripts coming my way, and now strangely, it's the check boxes. Is the film good? Is your part good? And then is it worth it leaving these 2 cuties at home and then going out to work? Like, give me something which gives me the incentive, apart from a good script and money or whatever it is that comes your way, that I want to leave these 2 like bundles of joy to then go to work. So yeah, I mean, Behzad, through like all of it, like my morning sickness and everything, he managed to pull me out. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely a yes for me.
True. So what was it for you? Because I know you had spoken, you want to do films which yourself, in your own words, is something what Neha also voiced, where I'm not just an ornament, where, there is something more meatier for me to do, and where I do have a message apart from just showcasing my talent and just being myself.
Yes, eventually the idea is, Puja, the effort is, no matter what I do, every effort is a stepping stone towards making a place for myself in the industry where my equity or my position is not dependent or is irrelevant of my male counterpart in a film. Because, and I'm not saying that's not important. It must be. It works for certain actors, and I'm open to every genre. But you realize, you go back, sometimes, and in the middle, I had a lot of time, especially this pre-Bala, pre-Uri phase, where, what is it that's going to work for me? What is it that I want from this place? And you realize that the very attitude that I came to this industry and made a debut with a film like Vicky Dona, which was so courageous, which was path-breaking, it has so much substance, the role was so good and was appreciated. It got all the love. So I need to stick to what I believe. I need to stick to that confidence, and that confidence in my own self, that I need to do something which I need to maintain with what I came in. I need to be consistent with that.
Absolutely.
And that can be only voiced out through my work and choices. Luckily, post 2019, things started shaping up in that direction. And it takes time. It takes experience. It takes a lot of things, the good ones, the bad ones, the good decisions, the bad films, to come to this point where you're comfortable saying no to a film because you know that it is not something which you should be a part of, or just to keep it running. Once upon a time, it was all right, but today is not that time.
Absolutely.
And I need to make use of this time. I need to make use of these opportunities and separate the identity of what I have in real life, or what people say, for the lack of a better word. She's such a sweet girl, such a pretty girl, such a simple girl, innocent girl. All right, I might be all those things in a, as a personality or whatever it is.
But Nana is going to make you think again.
Yeah, but I'm an actor. What I'm in real life, that should have nothing to do with what you see of me on screen. There should be absolutely, which is my job, to convince you that I can do that. I am that character. If I don't, then I failed at my job, or my director failed at the job. Let's put it that way.
Director's wife is passing on the buck to the director.
No, Behzad, not you. Hello, Behzad. No, not you.
आपके पति को भी phone कर देती हूँ मैं.
But what I'm saying, it's the writing also which makes a huge difference. A well-written role, a well-executed role, a well-directed role will stand out, will find its way. So all these things take time, all these things take effort, patience, lots of resilience. And when things happen, you decide, you start taking calls for yourself that you want to work with people who are excited to collaborate with you, who are excited to have you on board, who are excited to create something good, and not just a project, and not just, my job is not just to come on set and just say certain lines. For me, it's so important to know everything. I like knowing everything. I like knowing, acha, ye isme background score kaisa hoga, ye editing, how are we shooting this? Okay, ye line aise bol ke dekhte hain, ye aise bol ke dekhte hain. My concern is not just with Naina or just any character I do, what the other person is doing, how the story is progressing. I think as an actor, I want to be invested in the entire process, and that's how I learn. That's the only way I learn. I think that is, I want to collaborate. And I'm lucky, I'm glad, and that I didn't lie to you when I said, yeah, I'm coming up with a Thursday. Let's hold on to it. And I hope that you guys like the film, because that's a very subjective thing again. I mean, it's your choice eventually. It's all up to the audience. It's up to you, how you feel about a film. But we've done our best. We've done...
No, I was intrigued, and you have no idea the kind of love, the three of you, that's been coming for the trailer of the film. Saying, this is the kind of content you want to see. It's amazing. And what struck me, as I told you, Behzad, was seeing these ladies, and you have no clue. I've spoken to many, I mean, whether it's Yami, whether it's Neha, whether it's the other actors, they say, we want to do action. We want to be, the ones. And it's great. I'm sure you're going to be getting a whole lot of calls saying, mere liye bhi role hai.
I hope so. So, yeah, hopefully you're to stay, and let's see how it goes. But I want to tell you about Neha's reaction after she read the whole thing. The first thing she called me and said, yeah, what a role for Yami, yeah. Those are her exact words. So, yeah. Then when I said, what about you? Yeah, I'm doing it. That's no problem. I'm 100%.
So tell me, Behzad, did you zero in on both the ladies as you were, got the script and everything? How did that work? Because, honestly, again, I'm repeating it. I have never seen Yami in a role like this, because Yami is this very sweet girl who does no wrong.
Exactly why we zeroed in on Yami. because as I said, she's the quintessential girl next door, that you take home to mom. But now she has a gun, so think twice. So yeah.
Totally get that, because
So,
yeah.
Exactly. So I
And
think
now
that
someone
is the
has
shock.
taken me to his mom already. That's also like check. So
But now he's scared.
ho gaya. Now to move past
Now
that.
he's scared.
But that's awesome. And the thing is, everyone seems to be excited with the thriller genre. मैं देख रही हूँ, किसी को romance देखने का मन नहीं कर रहा है. Honestly, are you also like really fans of the thriller genre? Because wherever I'm going, everyone's doing a thriller, even if the love story has a bit of thrill in it.
But of course, thriller, matlab, it is anything that thrills us as humans, when you watch, because you're not in that situation. We don't want thrill in our life, but we were happy to watch it. And even all those the K shows and all the Korean shows, I mean, you see there's such different concepts and they're working really well. हमें शायद ये लगे सोच के कि नहीं, हम लोग एक लॉकडाउन से निकले हैं and not sure if people are open to violence and thrill, and this maybe people want to watch really happy content, but no, they're very happy in the, I think, maximum genres that are rolling out are thrillers. But having said that, I would love to watch a great comedy show. I would love to watch a great comedy film or any other genre. And because thriller बहुत ज़्यादा है, and I was discussing in one of your colleagues कि एक बार तो सब कोई show आए या कुछ आए, एक बार तो जरूर देख लेते हैं. They do watch it. But I really hope that the writing is not compromised. I hope the making of it is not compromised, because now everybody has work. Now everybody has an opportunity and a platform for themselves. They're young budding writers and directors who are coming up, which is great. But that shouldn't compromise anywhere on the quality of what we are churning out there.
Absolutely. I totally get that.
I think I really hope it's a great exercise for great writers. I think that is what we need. Agar roles अच्छे लिखे जाएंगे, so that's the main thing. That's where everything stems out for.
Absolutely.
And
True.
That's important.
Yeah. And Neha, also, this is again to the two ladies. Neha, you raised a very important point, is like women don't need to take sabbatical. You have been a perfect example of the working mom balancing. There's Yami also. What is that one change? Both of you, and there's Behzad also here, who's actually going to get a lot of calls from, as I said, from women wanting to do action and, whatever. What is that one change you actually want to see now going forward in the industry? It could be in terms of not only the narratives, but also in terms of conditions. As you said, pregnant mommies, they should be, that they can be taken care of, their babies, anything in terms of the infrastructure or whatever. What is it that the two of you want to see going forward in the industry?
Who's taking it first?
Yeah, go ahead, Neha.
No, I feel that the change is happening, Puja. It's not like the change is not happening. I mean, if you look at the week that we're in, there's someone like Deepika who's sort of leading the way with a beautiful film like Gehraiyan. If you look at Badai Ho, which is another film that's coming out this week, and you have Bhumi and Rajkumar who are putting out such an important role, and it's very obviously there. It's not a spoiler that I'm putting out. That, I mean, I could be wrong over here. I haven't seen the film, but it talks about it talks about same-sex relationships, and which is fantastic. Now that you see Thursday, you have Yami who's leading the way and padded up with enough and more women to take this forward. So I just feel like the industry is becoming a far more inclusive place. We're breaking out of stereotypes. Do we have the ability to do more of it? Yes, most definitely. Because if we've come such a long way, I feel like we have a long way to go. And it's not, it's not about putting actors in a box. It's about writing interesting parts. Something that, what Behzad has done, it's like to be casting Yami in, a part as thrilling as this. And she herself has said this. I'm not taking it away from her, but she herself has said this in the past interviews as well, that, people look at her differently, but now they will look at her differently. So I think within within the means and the ability that we have as an industry together, you know, and it's about everybody reaching out to everyone. Enough and more newcomers coming, enough and more work out there for people who've been here long enough. So it's nice. The hustle has become far more interesting. But what change do we want? Yeah, I mean, I feel like a little more a little more tolerance from the outside world towards the business would be nice. I mean, people are very quick to judge content or promos or trailers and all. Like, you know, I mean, we're in a creative business. We love our audiences, but at the same time, we just hope that, you know, we're given more opportunities, even from our audience, to be able to play around more and more and more. And we promise to keep churning out great content.
Absolutely. I mean, judge everything, including from clothes, how you're looking. Yami and I had this.
No, there's a small audience that does that. You know, there's a small part. Not everybody else. Not the cinema going audience, not the ones who are consuming OTT. I just want to clarify here.
No, I agree.
Very small, not even the media anymore, because the media is always excited to like look at more interesting things. They don't put anyone in boxes, but it's a very small part that then starts and sparks like some sort of surround sound, and then, you know, we're always on the edge.
Absolutely. Yami, what do you have to say?
I think I'll say that the awareness that is there today in terms of what we want as women, as female actors, like the fact you're asking these questions. There are some of your colleagues who've asked keep asking these questions. What do you feel? What are the changes, etc.? I think there have been actresses in the past in every decade who've really made a very, very strong mark for themselves, that we remember them even today. I'm sure things weren't easy back then as well, especially in, you know, certain decades. Like now we have social media. Now we just one you know, tweet or one post away if you want to express something what we don't feel good about. But there was nothing. So I think every generation comes with its own sets of pros and cons. And here, I think we've reached a point where we are aware that how important it is when we talk about equality. The equality is not just stemming from any economic sector. That's later. The structure is much more deep-rooted in that, which is to have respect for everybody, regardless of what part are they playing, and to not feel anyone an actor that you are replaceable. You know, so and so is not replaceable. You are, because of these things. If you're more vocal, if you're more this thing. Like I remember I was talking to somebody, one of my producers, about what I feel about certain things, and that person turned around and said that, my gosh, she's such a feminist. And I take it as a compliment, but I'm not being a feminist. It's a very misconstrued term. It doesn't mean that there's any comparison or you have to be bitter towards the other gender. Not at all. It just means that the world or this place does not just belong to any one person or any one gender. We all here together. We all should have equal dignity of work. That pay, that remuneration, and all these things, it will come to terms. Now, actually, since you guys were counting February, we had a Taapsi's film, we had Gehraiyan, we have Badhai Do, we have Alia's film coming, we have a Thursday coming. You actually see
that's actually February belongs to the women.
Yeah, isn't it great? You know, and so I think we need to celebrate ourselves more and root for each other, that everybody can coexist. I'm so happy for all my contemporaries, and I really mean it. It is not easy to make a mark for yourself in this place. It is not easy. Whatever you're doing, what Neha is talking about, her challenges, I talk to my other contemporaries, everybody's going through something or the other. It is not easy. So I think we need to, yes, you can't break certain notions overnight, because as I said, there are things that have been there since ages. But then there are actors, there are writers, there are producers, there are directors who are rooting for such, more than the word strong, I'd like to replace it with substantial rules.
Absolutely.
Substantial, where you have something. I'm saying, even if, you're doing an out and out song and dance film, no one should tell you that aap to sirf, gaane ke liye wo film mein. We don't need, you don't need or anyone to make you feel that. If those songs are not there, songs are there for a certain reason. You've casted somebody for a certain reason, so don't make anybody feel like that. Everybody's important, everybody's trying their best to work hard here, and we need to root for each other. If one person's film, if one of my contemporaries' films does well, it opens up avenues for 4 more. Take it that way. But I will always root for good films. It is not just a matter of it's a challenge and we have to come up with, if it doesn't make any sense, if that film, no, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't, not just come, it shouldn't come out of a sentiment ki acha ye ek female headlined film hai to mujhe ye karni hai. It needs to be a good film, needs to say something good, because at the end of the day we are trying to create, and our motive should be to push cinema. किसी में वो fear नहीं होना चाहिए अगर आपने शादी कर ली, या जैसे नेहा बात कर रही थी कि अच्छा you have a family now, तो मुझे अब पहले एक certain तरीके से देखा जाता था. I've watched Hema Ji's interviews where she said, my God, when I just got married, suddenly I was put in a different...
Absolutely. Once you're mummy, it's all over. But you're just redefining it. It ain't over.
No, I just found something in my house, and this is just coincidental, and I'm just going to sum it all up here and say, as women, we need to... Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but do epic shit. But it was just lying over here, so I'm just going to show it.
So yeah, I think we have actors, we have directors like Behzad. I've been fortunate to have worked with certain directors like Shujit Da, like Amar, Aditya, Tony Da, Tushar, so many more who I've worked with. They have a very different and a very modern, and that's the new age. And let's give it time to to absorb, because the audience is ready. I think the audience is very much ready. They just need good work from us. It's coming from her, it's coming from me, it's coming from somewhere. No, it doesn't matter. There's room for everybody to coexist and excel.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's called Thursday. Which is your favorite day of the week? Last question.
Favorite week? I think it's right now it's shifting.
I want to go first, please.
Yeah.
Sunday, please. I beg you. No school, no play days, nothing. Just like, and I don't know why every day for school I have to wake up my daughter, and then just on Sunday she decides to wake up 2 hours before waking up time. But yes, it is Sunday.
We all did that too during holidays. So, yeah. Behzad and Yami, favorite day of the week. I know.
My favorite day of the week used to be Saturdays, because never Sundays, because Sunday ke baad Monday aata tha. So that pressure used to haunt me before ki kal school jana hai, so let's start prepping the uniform and all that. Saturday was great. Saturday was amazing. It was kal Sunday. So that's why I think Saturday.
What about you?
For me, strangely, I'm going to say Thursday, because
somebody should na. That's why we left it.
No, not because of film at all. But I was in a school where we had Thursday and Sunday holiday. We didn't have Saturday, Sunday holiday.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's Don Bosco Katunga. Yeah. So we had Thursday, and so Thursday was always exciting, because that midweek break, and I think it's a brilliant thing for any school to do, that you are on 3 days, off 1 day, on 2 days, and then you're out.
Absolutely. Wow.
So,
lovely.
Yeah, so that no parents can ever plan a weekend getaway, Bears.
Of course you can. Bacha sick ho gaya. How difficult is that?
Wrong answer.
He's unwell. He's unwell.
But yeah, midweek is good. You need to you need to recover from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. Looking forward to it. And
thank you so much
again. And Behzad, well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Puja. I hope you like the film. We'll, of course, would love to know how it feels.
Thanks, Puja.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.